Hi everyone, and welcome to the first in this brand new series where we'll be looking at everything you need to know about the housing market. I've worked in the housing industry for many years, and I've teamed up with Redrow to bring you insights from industry experts, homeowners, designers, architects and more to give you the inside scoop whether you are buying or selling a property. In this episode of the New Homes podcast, we're looking at the government's Help to Buy scheme and how this can help you. Joining me in the studio today is Donna Sabin, a new homes expert from Redrow. Thanks for joining me today, Donna.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you ever so much. So, first of all, Donna, let's talk about Help to Buy. Could you briefly explain what Help to Buy is?
Help to Buy is a government-funded equity loan.
OK, right, super. So who's it applied to in terms of purchases? Do you have to be a first-time buyer to have access to this?
You don't. There's first-time buyers, downsizers and right-sizers as well. OK,
super. So am I right in thinking there is something you can't do it on an additional purchase, can you? It has to be your main residence, is that right?
It does, that's correct.
Right, so I've got some questions that I'm going to put to you. So,
okay.
Does it depend on the value of a house? What's the budget? How do people have to search up to? Is there certain figures?
Right, so across England it's up to 600,000.
Okay.
In Wales it's 300,000, and I believe in London it's
40% deposit, I think.
That's correct.
And we talk about deposits there. How much is it that the government give you towards your purchase of a property?
They'll give you 20% equity loan, so that the customer would only have to put down a 5% deposit.
OK, and I gather you can put as much as 55% deposit down and still use the Help to Buy scheme on top.
That's correct.
Yeah, fantastic. So then lenders-wise, I suppose it's not every single lender, is it? Certain lenders only, or...?
It is only certain lenders, but quite a few of the major lenders, big lenders, will lend
So the high
on it.
street names that people will be aware of.
That's
so you don't have to go to obscure lenders to have an advantage of it.
No.
And what's the process? If someone wants to buy with the Help to Buy scheme, how do they go about it? What do they need to do? OK,
the way we do it at Redrow is we would put you in touch with one of our financial advisors. They would fill out all the applications, send them on to the local agent, which in our region is Orbit, and they would then process it, and then you would receive a letter of authority to proceed. OK, so that's the Help to Buy agents that get involved with the financial advisors helping with all the work. That's correct.
And what's it do in terms of timescale? Does it increase the timescale of someone being able to buy a home? Does it slow things down, or...?
No, definitely doesn't slow things down. As long as the customers are quick to get all their documents to their solicitors and to the financial advisors, everything should go quite quickly. OK, so following on from that, if someone was doing the Help to Buy, got approved, when does the money get released? How does that work? What happens when it comes to buying a property? So basically the customer would put down their 5% deposit on exchange of contracts, and then the final money from the lender would be payable on completion, and that is when the government loan would be paid at the same time. OK, super. So I suppose you have to pay this back at some point. What happens? How do you start paying it back? Right, so you're very lucky. You've got the first 5 years interest-free. Wow. And then in the 6th year, there'll be a small percentage put on there of 1.75. OK, fab. So that's from year 6 onwards. And then if you did decide you wanted to move house, how would it work? How do you pay back the Help to Buy? So if your property increases in value, then you would pay the 20% of the value of the property, the same if it decreases as well. OK, so they just get their 20% back, and you've just been paying 1.75% as an interest payment. That's more than correct. Anything, so you're not paying back the loan. OK, brilliant. Criteria-wise then, there's no hidden bits and pieces to it. It's just as long as it's your only purchase, it's not going to be an additional purchase. That's correct, as long as it's your main residence. OK, fab. That's fantastic. Well, Donna, thank you ever so much for all that advice. Is there anything else we should tell any buyers out there about if they were thinking of using the Help to Buy scheme? Would you recommend it? You've been on Redrow with Redrow for 17 years. How have you found it's changed for your purchases? Has it been useful for them? I think it's been really useful for them because it's been able to help people to be able to afford something that possibly they wouldn't have been able to before. OK, so almost to take that leap, go 2 rungs of the ladder instead of just going for the first step. Absolutely. Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. Joining Donna and I in the studio today are Lucy and Garth, who used Help to Buy back in 2019 and have kindly come on to tell us about their experiences.
We have.
Thank you ever so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, tell us about your living arrangements before you managed to get the Help to Buy equity loan. What were you doing before?
So we were rented for quite a few years. We've been together since 2012, and we've been to a few places rounded about, moved a few times. Our last place was in Alvechurch, so near Bromsgrove Way, and we were there for about 4 years.
Okay, so what did the Help to Buy equity loan mean for you both?
It's massive. It's enabled us to buy a house, but not only any house. It's enabled us to buy, I class it as my dream house. I sort of walked in and I was like, oh, this is the one, Really? Yeah, it was just really emotional. It's just beautiful. So enabled us to buy something that we wouldn't have been able to. Not with the equity loan and the meaning that we only needed a 5% deposit. Yeah. It's meant that we could step that bit further up the ladder than probably we would have been able to for a while. So yeah.
Did you view a lot of properties before choosing the property you ended up buying with Redrow?
We went to a few developments.
Yeah.
We were quite keen on new builds, I think. I think partly because I'd helped my mum move earlier in the year, and focus was on traditional builds and older build, and I was like, actually I fancy something completely different. I want something that's completely done for me. I don't have to move. I move in and everything's done and ready. And new, and I won't need to worry about maintenance or anything for a good while. So, yeah, we'd been to a few developers, but as soon as we went to Redrow, I was like, these are so different. Like, these houses are big. Yeah. The ceilings are high, the rooms are big, and the spec is just...
Is that something
the
you
finish
find,
is just unreal.
Is that the feedback you get quite often, Donna, with your site that you're active?
Definitely, because you know that you're buying quality.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fab. So did you have any concerns about the Help to Buy scheme? Was there any kind of niggling doubts or questions or queries that you kind of thought you needed to have answered? Because
I think because we use the financial advisors and they were really helpful throughout the process, they're there to sort of answer any query that we had at any point. I think what's important for us to acknowledge is that we need to make sure we know that we're paying back 20% at the end of the mortgage or when we sell the property, So whatever value it is at that point, we know that will be returning to the government. But there wasn't really any worries. I'd say, do your research. I think it's been a dream of ours to buy for a while. So we had been reading up on it, and, there's quite a lot out there. Online, and as long as you go into reputable websites and things, but there's a lot out there to read up on.
So Garth, tell me, did you give consideration to the fact you're going to have to pay this equity loan back? What was your thought process? Obviously there's a bit of interest to pay after the 5-year period. What's your thoughts?
The good thing is that the financial advisor called Graham kind of highlighted this to us when we actually went through the Help to Buy process, and once we kind of researched that, we kind of saw that as well. But he takes into consideration whether you can afford the mortgage and the equity loan payments. So that's one thing to kind of take in mind, that after the people that give you the financial advisor will have to kind of see affordability throughout the process. So I think Graham was really good with us to kind of see that we could really afford it, and then was able to kind of take us down the right route with the right mortgage provider. And it was actually quite touch and go, and it was quite a quick process to kind of just see the affordability and the credit checks and stuff like that. So it was quite very, very straightforward.
Fantastic. So Donna mentioned earlier on that Redrow have financial advisors that can assist. Did you take advantage of that?
We did, absolutely, and I'm really glad we did.
Yeah.
I think having them on hand, they were just supportive. They're, working all hours of the day. Bless them. They didn't have to, obviously. But, they were there to answer any queries at weekends, and like you say, those niggling doubts that you have, or any last minute trembles, because it's a massive commitment, and, this is, probably the biggest commitment we'll ever make, buying a house together.
Yeah.
Bigger than marriage, and we're not even there yet. So,
But you're happy with your decision, though. You did say
absolutely.
You said it's the decision
absolutely,
that you're really pleased with.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, what would you say to friends or family that are thinking of buying a property and having the opportunity to use Help to Buy equity loan?
I would
recommend it.
Absolutely
recommend it. To be fair, it's that kind of step of help you need in this current climate, where it's very hard for young people like ourselves to get onto the property ladder because of the deposit you have to save up, and with that 5%, and the 20% added onto it, it is amazing how much easier it is to get onto the market, onto the property ladder. So yeah, I would recommend it.
Definitely.
And I was speaking to Donna earlier on regarding the timescale that it can take, because some people might think it will take a little bit longer by using this. What was your experience?
The speediest ever, I think.
Oh, really?
I think we sort of blinked and we were in the house, you know.
Yeah.
We'd started inquiring about October.
November time,
Then
yeah.
the houses got released in November, I think, so we could put our reservation down. We were in before Christmas, you know. It was weeks.
So how was Christmas then? Did you have a great Christmas?
Amazing.
Yeah, we had the ours as well. So
Hectic.
yeah,
We
it was
hosted
absolutely
for both
amazing.
families as well, which
Yeah.
was just wonderful because we haven't been able to do that before.
No.
We've not had the space to do it, so and we do now. So it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Fantastic. So when you think about the scale, it's not really a massive amount. I'm sure Gareth probably worked out the figures for you. It wasn't a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Graham, yeah.
Not to get the home that you wanted anyway.
Yeah.
No, exactly. It's. I mean, before we were renting, so we weren't seeing any of that money back. So now,
Yeah.
our money's going into a property that we love.
Yeah, at least the only 1.7% obviously per month isn't kind of like 100% rent. So if you're going
Exactly.
to be in a
That would have been
rental property,
the other option otherwise. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it freed up full ownership on a property that you can call your own, and yeah, fantastic. So we were talking. Lucy was telling us about what she likes about the property. What was it that attracted you to a Redrow home, Garth?
To be fair, again, I'm saying about the traditional home look, but as a new build.
Yeah.
To be fair, it did look, when you kind of look outside of the house, it just looks almost like an old-fashioned house, but with every kind of new build aspect onto it. So it's an amazing,
It's like
amazing
best of
house.
both worlds,
Yeah,
isn't
best
it?
of both worlds. The old kind of look of a house, which it looks very nice, yet with the new kind of new build kind of quality to it. So what Redrow brings, and it's amazing quality.
So did you consider second hand as well at the same time, or was it just new build? Was it new build because you mentioned your mother was buying an older property, but
I think it was new build we were attracted to, really.
Yeah.
We needed some way to narrow down the market as well, so sort of pinpointing ourselves on new builds, I think, and that was probably the way to go. There's
would you
so
say
much choice out there.
Help to Buy sped up your ability to be able to purchase as well,
Oh
because
my
you get to
God.
5% deposit as opposed to having to get to 10 or
Exactly.
even greater.
We wouldn't be in a house at the moment. We probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be in for a couple of years, and it probably wouldn't be the house that we've got either.
So more money
Yeah.
going out on rent as well, which you've managed to avoid. So
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Plus it's all round.
So Donna, Lucy and Garth's situation then in terms of coming to purchase a property from Redrow, is that fairly typical of how things work? What would happen if someone wanted to come and buy a home from Redrow and use the Help to Buy equity loan scheme?
Well, they'd first come into the office, obviously view the property. We'd have a chat with them, obviously explaining everything, all the different points. And basically what I want to do for you, which I hope I've done for you, was make it a very smooth move for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that the process is easy.
Yeah, I think because we got interested we knew what we wanted. We knew we wanted, well, in terms of new builds. And then we sort of narrowed it down to a style of house. We were then able to sort of, I suppose, shortlist it even further because you've got the plots that are available of that type.
And we actually went to view those
We did.
Yeah.
plots that were available at the time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I suppose when you set your heart on something, you want it to happen quite quickly. So is that what Donna helped? And
Yeah. Definitely.
Massively.
Yeah. She was just very grateful for being there, yeah.
Yeah.
Just on the end of the phone whenever we needed, something or that little bit of, is it the right thing? And
Yeah.
bit of reassurance.
bit of
and-
reassurance,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well, as we know, Donna's sold quite a few for Redrow
Yeah.
over her years, so obviously well placed with someone to look after you. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
So.
And if you want to find out any more about the Help to Buy offering, you can visit www.redrow.co.uk/help to buy, or find your nearest Redrow site at redrow.co.uk. Well, that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think on Facebook and Twitter, especially if you have anything you'd like us to cover on any future shows. See you next time.